You have been told the wrong story about exercise for most of your life. Not because people wanted to deceive you, not because doctors were careless, but because the truth was uncomfortable, inconvenient, and easy to ignore. From the time you were young, the message never changed. Walk more, stay active, get your steps in. 10,000 steps a day is the gold standard. Doctors repeat it, fitness magazines praise it, television health shows promote it. Friends and family remind you of it with love. And on the surface, it sounds perfect. Walking feels safe. Walking feels natural. Walking feels achievable. But for adults over 60, walking alone is not protecting the body the way people believe it is. And this is not an opinion. This is not a theory. This is what the data shows. In 2023, researchers at the University of Missouri published a study that quietly shook the medical community. The researchers followed adults over 60 and divided them into two groups. One group walked regularly, just like doctors recommend. The other group performed seated resistance exercises. Nothing extreme, nothing risky, no heavy weights, just controlled, targeted movement. The result was impossible to ignore. The seated exercise group improved their functional strength by 27% more than the walking group. 27%. That is not a minor improvement. That is a life-changing difference. That is the difference between standing up easily and needing your hands. That is the difference between climbing stairs confidently and avoiding them completely. That is the difference between independence and dependence. But you almost never hear about this. Why? Because there is an enormous industry built around walking. Shoes, fitness trackers, step counters, treadmills, apps. Billions of dollars depend on the belief that walking is the ultimate answer for aging bodies. Orthopedic surgeons, however, have known the truth for decades. Walking is excellent for cardiovascular health. Walking improves circulation. Walking supports mental well-being. But walking does almost nothing to stop the muscle loss that accelerates after age 60. That muscle loss has a name: sarcopenia. It does not announce itself loudly. It creeps in slowly. It steals 3 to 5% of muscle mass every decade after age 30. You do not notice it at first. You adapt without realizing it. You push off the armrest instead of your legs. You hesitate before stairs. You avoid low chairs. You move more carefully. By the time many people reach 70, they have lost close to one-third of their original strength, and walking cannot reverse this process. Targeted resistance can. In 2022, Harvard Medical School followed more than 2,000 seniors for 18 months. One group continued walking as their main form of exercise. The other group added seated resistance exercises to the routine. The walking group lost muscle. The seated exercise group gained muscle. Same age, similar health, different outcomes. And here is the detail that made surgeons take notice. The most effective exercise in that study increased bone density by 19% in adults over 65. That is extremely rare. Bones usually weaken with age. Because of findings like this, surgeons now prescribe this exact movement to patients recovering from hip replacements. It outperforms many traditional physical therapy programs. Before we go further, pause for a moment and leave a comment with your age and where you're watching from. We read every single comment. Now, let us begin. Number 5. Seated calf raises. This is the exercise most people ignore, and that ignorance slowly costs them their mobility. The calves are not just walking muscles, they're circulation muscles. Doctors often call them the second heart. Every time they contract, they squeeze blood upward against gravity. Without strong calves, blood pools in the legs, ankles swell, veins weaken, the risk of clots increase. A study published in the Journal of Applied Physiology followed seniors with circulation issues. Half performed seated calf raises several times per week. After 12 weeks, their blood return efficiency improved by more than 40%. Swelling decreased, legs felt lighter. Risk markers for deep vein clots dropped significantly. Walking activates the calves, but not enough. When you isolate them in a seated position, they must work harder. Sit in a sturdy chair, feet flat, knees bent. Press through the balls of your feet and lift your heels as high as you can. Hold for 2 seconds. Lower slowly. That slow lowering is where strength develops. Start with 15 repetitions. Build toward 3 sets of 25. Once that becomes easy, place a heavy book or weight on your thighs. Surgeons favor this exercise because it places almost no stress on hips or knees. Do it daily, morning and evening. Many people feel improvement within 2 weeks. Number 4. Seated knee extensions. This movement targets the muscle that decides whether you can climb stairs or stand from a toilet without assistance, your quadriceps. Research from the University of Vermont shows that quadriceps strength declines faster than almost any other muscle after 60. Seniors who did not train them lost muscle. Those who did seated knee extensions gained strength. Walking barely challenges the quadriceps. Flat ground does not demand much from them. Seated knee extensions force the leg to lift against gravity. Sit tall, back against the chair. Straighten one leg fully. Hold for 3 seconds while squeezing the thigh. Lower slowly over 4 seconds. Switch legs. 12 repetitions per side. 3 sets. Focus on squeezing the muscle. Studies show mental focus increases strength gains dramatically. Strong quadriceps protect the knees, absorb shock, and make everyday movement safer. Number 3. Seated hip marches. These muscles lift your legs when you walk. When they weaken, steps become short and shallow. Feet barely clear the floor. This is why many seniors trip over nothing. A Mayo Clinic study found hip flexor weakness was the strongest predictor of falls in adults over 60. Stronger than balance tests. Stronger than leg strength alone. Sit near the edge of a chair. Sit tall. Lift one knee toward your chest. Hold 2 seconds. Lower slowly. Alternate legs. 20 repetitions total. 3 sets. Move slowly. No swinging. This exercise retrains your walking pattern and dramatically reduces fall risk. Now we reach the exercises surgeons consider essential. Number 2. Seated resistance band rows. Your back muscles keep you upright. When they weaken, posture collapses, shoulders round, breathing becomes harder, balance shifts forward. Walking does nothing for these muscles. Seated rows do. Sit tall. Loop a resistance band around your feet. Pull elbows back. Squeeze shoulder blades together. Hold 2 seconds. Release slowly. 15 repetitions. 3 sets. Studies show this improves posture, reduces pain, and lowers fall risk. And now, the most important one. Number 1. Sit to stand squats. If you do only one exercise for the rest of your life, make it this one. This movement predicts longevity better than many medical tests. It activates nearly every major muscle in your lower body at once. A major study found people who struggled with this movement were 5 to 6 times more likely to die during follow-up periods. Sit in a chair, feet slightly wider than hips, arms crossed. Lean forward slightly. Push through your heels and stand. Pause. Lower slowly for 4 seconds. 10 repetitions. Build to 3 sets of 15. This movement increases bone density, restores strength, and protects independence. Walking has its place, but walking alone leaves dangerous gaps. These exercises fill those gaps. You do not need a gym. You do not need expensive tools. You need consistency. Your strength is not gone. It has been waiting for the right signal. And now you know exactly what that signal is.